Am I allowed to call it Atlanta?
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Tonight, in the Door Racing League, we're going to be taking on the High Banks of Atlanta. We've got a 25 car field on hand for what is sure to be a draft battle to remember at the newly reconfigured and newly renamed Echo Park Speedway. I am Sky Shrek up here. I'm joined tonight by Jeremy Briggs in the booth with me, and we've got Marty producing as well tonight. It's going to be a fun one here. Jeremy, what can you tell us about this racetrack?
Boy, this track, it is the reconfigured version of the formerly known as Atlanta, now Echo Park Speedway. 1.54 miles, still 4 turns, but I wouldn't say you're wide open like a super speedway, but it has the super speedway feel, a little bit of out of the gas. 28 degrees of banking through the turns, like you can see there. It's located in Hampton, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta itself, right here on Maconi Entertainment. This is going to be a great show here tonight.
It is going to be a great one here tonight. This track, as mentioned, drives more like a super speedway than anything else, which is going to make it quite a challenge here for these drivers. Think of it more similar to a Talladega or a Daytona style race here tonight on Maconi Entertainment, as opposed to a Daytona, or excuse me, as opposed to a more typical mile and a half like a Charlotte or even a Kansas. We got one of our bigger fields here on Maconi Entertainment on hand for this race tonight, and I think everybody's excited to go fast here because, as mentioned, this is a good track. This is one that always puts on a show in real life, and it's one that, with the aptly named Door Racing League, I think we are all expecting to put on a show tonight in the sim as well. Qualifying is wrapping up, and we'll get our starting lineup for you right here. Starting on pole tonight is going to be the 12 car of Trevor Baxter. Joshua Hyatt will roll off to his outside in second. Corey Adkins will go from third tonight, with William Lark rolling off fourth. It'll be Gus Odero in the fifth position. Daniel Best goes from sixth. Danny Carpenter starts seventh tonight. Hugh Brown in eighth. Keith Pittman, P9. Thomas Freeman, P10.
Just outside there, the top 10. Starting in 11th, the number 11 of William Hewitt. 12th starting spot goes to Michael Reeves. 13th is James Nesta. 14th starting spot goes to Stephen Bird. 15th starting spot, Nate Pollard. 16th starting spot goes to Bradley Knopfsnyder. 17th starting spot, you've got Joshua Switzer. In the 18th starting spot, you got Phip Milnex. 19th starting spot, probably going to not race, is the race controller. 20th starting spot, you've got the number 4 of Chris Chavez Esray. 21st, you got Michael Kurzak. I don't know how to say that yet. We'll figure that here. Kurzilak, there we go. In the 22nd starting spot, you got Brian Burchett. 23rd, you got Thomas Osborne. And rounding out this awesome field of cars, 24th, Ronald Judd. Boy, this is going to be action-packed.
It is going to be a good one here tonight. These drivers are getting ready to go at what is already a pretty dark Echo Park Speedway. You see it here. I'm assuming we're going to get those lights turned on at some point here because we're rolling off at 8:20 p.m. Got 5 tire sets to go here in this race. 85% fuel load is going to make it fun tonight. Cold track temp with the night race, only 80 degrees Fahrenheit.
And just a slight breeze as well. There's just a 3 miles an hour, so not too much of an effect from weather. As we look at our Maconi setup shop race analysis, 169 laps is the distance, 40, 45, and 84 laps the distance for each stage here tonight. 45 miles an hour on pit road. And you got to remember they are entering in turn 3. Only one green, white, checkered attempt, no fast repairs, and the fuel window is about 50 to 55.
That fuel window maybe can play here if we get a long green flag run in our 169 lap race tonight at Atlanta. It's going to be a bit of a long one. These drivers are going to need to be buckled in for tonight.
These drivers have been doing a great job each and every week of just putting on these great shows, and with this awesome field here tonight, it's going to be a sight to see. Waiting for those lights to turn on here patiently. Hopefully the light bill has been paid.
I hope that light bill's been paid too, or else we are going to have a pitch black midnight race tonight. 8:20 p.m. as we roll off the grid here. And it'll be Trevor Baxter on your front row. On the outside is going to be Joshua Hyatt there in that 2 car. We've got Corey Adkins, William Lark, Daniel Best, rolling back through the top 5 here as we get ready to go off of turn 4. The pace car is going to pull down in the golden hour here at Atlanta. Trevor Baxter will take us down into the start zone. And we are green at Atlanta.
Listen to those cars go down the backstretch here. What a sight to see. So many cars out here. Inside line right now, trying to get it organized right now. Our only multi-time winner, Trevor Baxter, leading the way.
Good start so far for Trevor Baxter in that 12 car, holding a pretty good advantage over the rest of the field as we've gone single file through your top 8. It'll be William Lark, the first car on the outside in that 10 machine, trying to work his way up. He's sitting in P8 at the moment, side by side with Daniel Best.
One thing you got to remember, this is an open setup race, so you wouldn't think of setups playing into factor too much. But we'll have to see who the comers and goers are, keeping the tire wear, because it is only a 1.5 miles, so you do have a lot more wear, on those right sides when you're going to increase this banking. And if you don't have the right setup, you're going to really wear those front tires off, with no grip downforce just behind these cars, nose and tails. We're getting pretty single filed out here, though, early on. I think everybody's on the same page of just riding it out and clicking these laps off.
Yeah, we're going to see these drivers be a little more cautious here in the early stages of this race. Something that might actually play into effect is how chaotic the real-life NASCAR race here was just a few days ago. A lot of drivers in this race likely saw that race, saw the amount of carnage that occurred early, and have decided that they don't want to be one of the causes of that carnage. Your leader tonight, Trevor Baxter, winner of 9 out of 17 races in this series, as you mentioned, our only multi-time winner this season. But if there is a race where you're going to get a driver here that could maybe upset the field, snag their first or even second win of the season, Atlanta is one of the tracks where you could see that happen. Trevor Baxter was our winner again last week at Pocono. He's won 9 of the 14 races he has shown up to, including back-to-back at Pocono and Michigan. He'll look to get 3 straight wins for him. Not for the first time this year, because he won 5 in a row back in March.
Trevor Baxter really just giving it to this field, but like you said, this does have the equalizer feel. Everybody can kind of link up, maybe try to shimmy him out, with everybody knowing he's the only driver with a multi-wins, and he's definitely got himself locked in as the championship favorite. Just a few rounds left to go. I believe 9 races here until the championship playoffs begin.
And we're going to come down to these playoffs, and it's so important to get that win so you can lock yourself into the playoffs. You're still watching right now. Trevor Baxter is holding steady out front with a great lead right now at the moment. We are still single file a little further back. Hyatt has been kind of trying to take a peek outside in that 2-car. Hasn't had it yet, but he is slowly moving more and more up to that outside lane, especially in the trial. But as he tries to get something going, we're looking on board with that Hyatt car right now as he follows the 24 round. He's going to be one of the drivers who would like to get that high line going, but he knows maybe a bit too early to try to pull out of line. He's got no help behind him, and he would likely drop pretty far back if he did.
And about 32 laps left in this stage. You don't want to shuffle yourself too back and accidentally get yourself caught up in that carnage and add insult to injury. So, like you said, keeping this track position up front here is going to be extremely key right now. See how it plays out throughout the race. Right now, single file throughout the whole field. Like you said, Hyatt though just peeking their nose out, maybe showing interest. But right now, nobody else in the same boat.
Tight battle here up front as these top 3 continue to try to get away from Gus Otero. 1 spot behind Harrow, 1 spot behind him. We're side by side a little further back, but it's now been sorted out. Bradley Knopsnyder is kind of getting ran on the top. Michael Reeves got clear. It looks like that 87 car can hang out a little far back right now. He's trying to bide his time here in the later stages of this race. He's got Mullinax behind him, and then it's a pretty big gap back to Kurjalak and Chavez Nessery behind them. Back up front, we're going side by side here as we finally got that second lane trying to roll back up to the front. Danny Carpenter in the 28, first car in that lane. He's got Daniel Best working behind him, Keith Pittman. Also, 3rd car on the top. On the bottom, they're side by side with William Hewitt and William Lark down there in the 11th and 12th respectively. Can those outside cars mount a charge here and start to close up on your top 3? Right now, seems like it's working as they're side by side with Hugh Brown.
Slowly but surely getting that outside lane working here for that number 28 of Danny Carpenter. Now just to the outside there of Gus Otero, excuse me. And man, they're really making it work. A big push there from the 5. Oh, almost got real big loose there. That's going to back them up a little bit. They'll have to get that momentum built up because they're now back to the number 7, Hugh Brown.
Hugh Brown, what can Brown do for you in that UPS car? He's trying to push him really hard on the bottom. Still trying to get that inside lane out in front of that 28 of Danny Carpenter, who is continuing to hold the top. He will get down. The 28 will switch lines to the inside here. The outside wasn't cutting it. Actually, he'll jump straight back up here into turn 3. So he pulled in for some draft and has decided he wants to stay on that top for the time being. See if he can get it done as William Hewitt tries to close that spot in line and close up to Brown in the 7th.
As we saw that outside line fall apart, they'll have to get reorganized and march back to the front. Let's see if they get a little bit more help as the number 11 of William Hewitt jumps out to the outside line trying to lead that charge. Number 2 right there, we saw Joshua Hyatt looking early on. I believe he's going to be waiting for that number 11 to get there. We'll see if he jumps in front of him. Here we go.
We'll see what he can do as we stay side by side all the way down through here. Cars too wide here. He's going to move up a little bit there. Interesting maneuver.
Oh.
Way down onto the apron. That is Hugh Brown in the 7.
He says, I'm out of here.
The field. Yeah, did not want to be involved in that anymore. As William Hewitt, who has jumped up to the top, continues to try to make gains up there. He's working side by side with Gus Otero, but he's still got Joshua Hyatt up the road and your top 2 of Baxter and Adkins.
Top line, really big march here once again. One little bobble though, and that'll back them up once again. The leaders nose to tail trying to pull away.
Those top 2 are really pushing each other. Adkins is all over Trevor Baxter trying to get that line going up front. And Baxter's a little bit high here off the corner. Are they going to switch to the top? Yes, they will. Adkins and Baxter will go with the high side here over that 2 car of Joshua Hyatt. It'll now be William Hewitt pushing them. We'll see if Hyatt can even it back out or if that top lane can get the advantage it needs. We're looking to maybe go 3 wide there with Danny Carpenter instead. It'll be Hewitt dropping back down to the bottom, and he is going to be the one who tries to send himself up to the lead. It's been a big drive to the field here for William Hewitt. He's gone 11-3, and he's looking for more.
I believe Hyatt just having some slight handling issues. Really tight on entry, but up right behind this car of William Hewitt. Got those 2 drivers mixed up. That was pretty impressive right there. Just combine them both. We'll clip that and save that for later.
Hewitt continues to try to get that move. Oh, Adkins. Big push to Baxter off the corner. Got him a little bit unsettled there in that 12 car. So you'll see how tight these 2 are as we look on the nose of the 24. He's all over the 12 car, pushing him as hard as he can around the racetrack. That might actually cause that 24 to overheat. Never mind. Baxter will drop down. New clear air on the nose of the 24 car, and he is clear into the lead. He'll pull down in front of Baxter in P1. New leader, Corey Adkins. Oh, car wrecking further back. That is the 17 machine of Thomas Freeman. Stephen Bird involved as well there in the 26 car.
All right. We'll have to get a quick look at a replay here momentarily, but woo! Door-to-door racing is right, because they were door-to-door there. Almost 20 laps into this event. We'll have to see what transpired.
You'll see something here on this replay that makes Atlanta stand out from Daytona and Talladega. You can just get loose all on your own here. When the tires wear, the car gets way slidey. That happened to Thomas Freeman there. Thought he would have a normal super speedway levels of grip, and he just didn't. Lost it, got turned off the nose there with Nate Pollard, who couldn't avoid, and just flipped that 26 of Stephen Bird, who got back into the fence.
Yep. Definitely going to be something to watch here all night long. Almost 20 laps into this race and already having handling issues. Speaking of handling issues, we got drivers coming on pit road to get some adjustments, maybe and/or some tires.
Yeah, this is the problem at Atlanta here for some of these cars where they're used to running it at a super speedway flat out the whole time. You can't do that here as the tires wear, as the run goes on. You're just going to use more and more tires. The handling is going to get even worse, and eventually you will start slipping and sliding, and you're going to have to back out into these corners, or else you'll do what Thomas Freeman did right there. A lot of cars in the pits here. It's looking like we're going to have fuel, and we're going to see if it was 2 tires here for William Hewitt. I'm going to take a quick look. No, fuel only. So it's fuel only for your top 4. Hewitt, Hyatt, Bird, Reeves. It'll be Thomas Freeman coming down for tires. And everyone behind him is still in the pit lane and has been for about 35 plus seconds. That's Hugh Brown, Nate Pollard, Brian Burchett, Chris Chavez-Asari, Tommy Osborne, and Michael Kurdlajak, or Kurdjilak, sorry, excuse me. They're all coming out now, but they all took about 40 seconds in the pit, so maybe fixing some damage on those cars from some early racing.
Take a look at that Hugh Brown situation. I thought he just bailed out there during that event, so I'm not sure if he maybe got some damage from going down onto the apron. But like you said, he was on the pit road there for quite some time as the pace car lights are now off. This is going to be exciting, getting ready to come back to the green flag.
Now we'll get doubled back up, but it'll be the same cars on your top 2. Just in a different order this time. Instead of Baxter leading Adkins, it'll be Adkins leading Baxter up there on the front row. Daniel Best will roll from 4th, and the 28 of Danny Carpenter will roll from 3rd tonight. Gus Otero, P5 at the moment. Keith Pittman, P6. It's going to be William Lark, 7th. James Nesta in 8th. Joshua Switzer, P9. Bradley Knopsnyder, P10. After a round of pit stops, send several of your top drivers like Joshua Hyatt and Stephen Bird to the back.
Trevor Baxter, like we've said, only multi-time winner. Had to relinquish the lead right there to Corey Atkins. We'll see if he can get it back on this restart.
He'll certainly want it back, and he'll certainly be fighting to try to get it back on this restart. We know that 12 is fast. He is used to being out front in this series. Trevor Baxter has led just under half the laps this season. He's run about 2,300 in the Door Racing League. He's led over 1,000 of them. Nobody else is even close in that regard. No one else has led more than about 300. It is Trevor Baxter's year, and he's looking to get it done here again. But he will roll from the outside. It's a bad jump for Corey Atkins, and we'll go side by side as we cross the start-finish line here. Good jump for Baxter. He's not going to get clear into one, but he is going to be there on that 24 car.
Man, that was certainly a messy restart there. The whole top line just fell apart. I'm not sure if somebody got brake checked or what happened there, but this whole field just fell right apart on that restart. We'll see if we can get a replay and see what happened.
Looking way single file right now as all these cars trying to get moving around the racetrack and trying to get a little calmed down after that early accident. But we are seeing a lot of bumping and a lot of contact in the early stages as Baxter looks high again on the 24 car, and this time he will have help. Danny Carpenter is going to jump up to the top along with Daniel Best on the high side. Can he get clear? Yes, he will. New leader, Trevor Baxter. New second, Danny Carpenter. New third, Daniel Best. So the high line is working right now. These drivers, unlike that first stint, don't want to keep it single file for very long.
Oh, gets shuffled out there. We're going to have another leader, I believe. Was that Danny Carpenter almost leading that lap?
Oh, big stack up on the bottom there. Big stack up. Trevor Baxter got way off the gas and a lot of contact behind. It's a huge run working on the top right now. That 26 car is Stephen Bird a little further back, and he has bumped Adkins right back into this fight on the top as Joshua Switzer continues to lead that high line. He's gone 17-4 tonight, but that 6 is starting to have some handling issues. You're seeing it come into play here. When he takes bumps from the 24 car, especially as he heads into the corner, that 6 is wiggling all over the place. He needs to lock that thing down or else he might be in trouble.
The intensity is ramping up with these races, and I tell you what, when these happen so fast on these types of track, this type of track, any of the incidents, because you watch one car check up and it accordion so fast, man, they are so close. Just like the name of the league, door to door, lap after lap.
That 6 was close there. We'll get a replay of the restart here. You see Adkins is a big lead down into the restart zone. Maybe just the green flag came out a little early there because Baxter was on it right away and he was able to get away. That stacked up some cars further back, most notably the 2 of Joshua Hyatt, who free-falled back to 17th. The inside line back to real time is prevailing right there. Otero is clear of the first car on the top, and it won't be long before William Lark is as well. That 6 of Joshua Switzer badly struggling with the handling, and it seems like no one really wants to push him right now as he weaves back and forth on the racetrack trying to get something going in this car. He's not having it right now. He is struggling on these tires as we head down to the end of stage 1.
Wow, 3 wide back here. Oh boy. Woo! This is some really action-packed right here in the back. They are definitely going all for it. The stage is winding down. Every position is going to count here.
That was Nate Pollard there getting a bit loose in the middle. We got some cars still trying to pass the 6 of Switzer, most notably William Hewitt in there, but he wasn't able to get the move done. We're still side by side. Further back, that's Keith Pittman, Stephen Bird, James Nesta, Nate Pollard, soon to be Hugh Brown in that battle as well back in that 7 car. Trying to recover from having dropped through the back pretty early. For now, single file around the bottom, and it's Danny Carpenter in the 28 leading that line up there. Good run up through the field for him. He's held that lead for about 5 laps now, but he has Trevor Baxter, who's been so good this season, all over his bumper. Danny Carpenter, tied for the highest driver in points, who does not have a win yet this season. He'd be 4th in points without the women you're in. He is very much going to want to win so that he can get in. 238 laps led, 5 top 5s, no wins to the 28. This might be his shot.
keep an eye on the handling issues of that number 20. You can see a lot of sparks coming up from underneath. Great observation from our producer, Marty, bringing that up. You can see that. The 28 getting a lot of downforce up front. You can see really bothering out to keep an eye on. The tires should be getting up too close to operating temperature, so should not be bottoming out right now. With all that downforce potentially being a leader is the reason for that. But we'll take a look at that later on in the race. Right now, we're single file, I believe, through the first 15 cars, but the stage is winding down. We'll be getting some pretty big moves here shortly. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
We're seeing these handling issues really come into effect now. About a lap ago, Philip Moenax got way out of line down into 1 and 2. Kissed the wall a little bit, dropped from 7th back to 14th. It's becoming kind of a theme here where cars are starting to struggle, especially the ones that did not take tires. And with the field so tight, with these cars pushing each other so hard, these drivers who are in this lead pack could wind up having some issues. If one car gets loose and goes around, the nature of draft racing is that everybody else is so close, it wouldn't be hard for them all to get involved. Hugh Brown in the 7th continues to try to make his way back to the field, dicing it up in 10th at the moment as he works on the 29 of James Nesta. He's going to need some help on the top.
Oh, I thought he was going to get some help there, but the car that's right there behind him looks like scraped the wall. Not sure who that was. Now we got another car in front of him. Well, the 29 of James Nesta, we're on board with him.
Stephen Bird nearly clipped the wall there as well, at least once in that 26 car. He's the car running behind the UPS Brown car there, who's currently in 12th, pushing James Nesta for all he's got. These pushes can be so risky when you do have the handling issues, because it can make it that much easier for the car to slide out on you and for you to spin and cause an accident. Everyone's getting a little cautious up front now. You're seeing the gaps open up a little bit between the drivers, like Baxter Carpenter and Daniel Best, who is still in 3rd despite having some pretty substantial aero damage on that 5 car. Nose is punched in, but he's somehow still making it work. You gotta wonder, though, if later in the race, if he can't get that fixed, somebody else might try to push him a little more, or somebody else might try to get him out of the line so that they can push a little more.
Yep, as we ride on board here with number 10, number 12 of Trevor Baxter. You can see right there behind him, Daniel Best with that punched in nose. Great shot right there, just over the spoiler. And with pit stops coming up, we'll probably see if he tries to fix that.
Got some tight battles here all throughout the field, and that outside line is trying to charge, led by William Lark there in that 10 car. Oh, big loose out of William Lark. Good save in that 10 car, but we're spinning on the bottom with the 11 of William Hewitt. It's another good save for him. Chaos throughout the field. Hugh Brown had a moment as well there, but we all keep it straight, keep it clean. That could have been a lot worse for a lot of cars as the stage continues to wind down. The handling issues only wind up.
Handling issues and drivers hungry for stage points. Going to see a lot of desperate moves that could lead to a wreck here, getting close to the end of this stage. We'll see who decides to bite up top. They're going to have to make that move quick, get the momentum going, because this stage is only 3 laps away.
And out front, it's still Danny Carpenter leading over Trevor Baxter, leading over Daniel Best back there. I'm amazed that 5 car is running as well as it is with all the damage there, but he's really making that thing work in the line right now, and he'll hope to get that fixed on the next pit stop here at the end of the stage. The 10 is looking high. Pit road closed this time around as William Lark continues to try to make the pass on the top. We'll see if that high line, led by him and the 24, Corey Adkins, can get somewhere.
Trying to see how many more cars get up to that top line, try to help build momentum. Right now, the 5 car, like we noticed with that nose damage, laying back just a little bit. That's one car you're not going to want to jump out in front of you on this top line. Oh, contact!
There's those handling issues. Everybody's sliding up the racetrack there, and that'll put him in the wall. We're 3 wide right now after the 10 car went into the wall, and you are seeing Daniel Best in the middle, and he's going to hit that 24 car of Adkins up the racetrack. Daniel Best is doing all he can to hold on to stage points right now, as it's Gus Otero on the inside, trying to get that run going down there. Up front for the stage win, it is Baxter and Carpenter as we are getting chaos behind them. Best is finally cycled out. Coming to the line, Danny Carpenter takes stage 1.
I think Daniel Best might have gotten one stage point out of that. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But it's like we said, as soon as he got shuffled out, he just had that big parachute on his front nose, and I'm sure he's going to want to get that fixed.
He's got that wall, or he's got that nose damage, which is really, really hurting him when he does get in that clean air. We're going to take a quick break here, and when we come right back, we'll have Stage 2 on Maconi Entertainment. Stay
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
We are back here for pit stops in the Door Racing League from Atlanta, and you're going to see the whole field will come down here for tires and fuel, and that starts with your leader, Danny Carpenter. Trevor Baxter in second. From there, the stage points go to Gus Otero, Keith Pittman, Joshua Switzer, Corey Adkins, Nate Pollard, Philip Mullinax, Daniel Best, and James Nesta, 1 through 10. The cars will pull into their box here. Baxter has that advantage of the first pit stall, while Carpenter drove from 7 to 1 in the first stint and will look to keep it up there. Baxter, let's see if he comes out here in front. He's got 4 tires going. Let's see how this shakes out. First car out of the pits is Daniel Baxter, narrowly over that 16 car of Nate Pollard, who pulled, I believe, the only fuel-only strategy in the field. Carpenter will come out third, Otero in fourth.
As we take a quick look at the top 10, we got Trevor Baxter, Nate Pollard, Danny Carpenter, Gus Otero, Joshua Switzer, Corey Adkins, Keith Pittman, James Nesta, Bradley Knopfschneider, and Stephen Bird are top 10.
We take a quick break here, and when we come right back, we'll have the start of Stage 2.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back here with the lights out on the pace car in the Door Racing League at Atlanta. Your cars are making it through turn 2 right now. And as we head back to the green flag, we got a couple pitch strategies being played up front. You only get 4 tire sets in the pits this race, and it's a strategy call for the 16 of Nate Pollard, who used one earlier, to not use one here. He will be the only car in your top 10 restarting on old tires. We've seen handling play a big role in this race tonight. I'm not sure if that old rubber will be able to keep the 16 up there in the same way that it would at Talladega or Daytona, a more typical drafting track, but he will certainly try to find out here tonight. It'll be Baxter starting on the inside, winner of 9 races this season. Pollard up there on the top, your stage winner. Danny Carpenter dropped a spot on pit road. He'll go from 3rd. Gus Otero will be 4th on the outside. Pace car pulls down out of 4. We're going to slip into the restart zone, and it's an early jump for Baxter. We're off at Atlanta.
Baxter wasting no time getting that going. As you can see, Nathan Pollard, trying to get it pulled down right there into third. With those older tires, trying not to lose any more spots that they can. We'll have to see how those older tires play out here.
He struggled on the restart big time in comparison to some of the drivers on newer tires. Slipped back all the way to third in that 16 car. We'll see if he can hold it there or if he will continue to be chewed up by the field. Not a great start for Gus Otero either. Rolled off in fourth, but has already slipped back to seventh. He's been stuck on the high line, and the high line is going nowhere. Your field is grouped up around the bottom, and Otero is the odd man out.
After the first couple restarts, I could definitely tell it takes that high line a couple laps to really become irrelevant. It feels like they fall off on the restart, get a little single file up here towards the front, and then once handling starts becoming an issue, that top line comes in.
Yeah, you said it. The top line really only comes in a few laps after these restarts. At the start, it is the bottom. Once they can get enough cars up there to start pushing runs, they're able to get good, but they just need more cars up there right now. They're at a disadvantage, and they're not able to push up to the front. That'll help. 03 of Keith Pittman from 6th will move up into that top lane. We'll see if they can use that to start to close up, or if not, Snyder's going to just slide in and fill that hole further up in the field.
As you said, we needed more help at the top line. They showed up. Let's see if the ship is out. And they some momentum. Oh, and that inside line just bottlenecked right there. That 87 of Bradley Snyder got a little loose there in the middle. That's going to have Adkins jump up to the top. A couple laps into this run. Here we go. Top line coming in.
There you go. You're seeing those cars try to make moves to the front of the field. Still led up front by that 24 car. Corey Adkins right now working to the outside of the 6 of Joshua Switzer. We mentioned him, 17-4. He's had a big run in this race. He was struggling on old tires at the end of the last run, but he's on new rubber here, and we'll see if that can help him. For now, it's all on the outside lane, but they do have a car on old tires who's pulled up to lead. That's the 16 of Nate Pollard, and Adkins doesn't want to work with him. He's shuffled out to the top immediately. Adkins pushing Baxter, who's moved up to the top. They are clear 1 and 2 at the front of the field as the 16 machine is going to free fall. Nate Pollard in trouble as Baxter and Adkins lead over Carpenter.
They knew exactly what was up with that car. Being on older tires, they wasted no time getting him out of the way. We are 3 wide for the lead.
That we are, and it's going to be Baxter getting the short end of the stick. He's got no help. No one wants to be in that third lane. Adkins doesn't have any friends out here. He's doing this all for himself, pushing his way to the field, taking everybody 3 wide to try and get these positions. And that 12 car there of Baxter has been pushed all the way back to 10th, as up front, Danny Carpenter will be your new leader, taking the lead over Joshua Switzer, who is all over that 28 car back there in second. Corey Adkins will drop down to third over Gus Otero.
Woo. Some pretty big moments here, some big pushes. They're trying to get that top line working. Drivers have got their hands full. Woo! 0-3 right here of Keith Pittman trying to lead the top line, but it is not working. Almost getting shuffled out right there. Yes, he is.
Inside's working hard there. Here comes that 7 car, Hugh Brown, trying to gain some spots on the top in that UPS machine, working outside Gus Otero at the moment for P5. He needs help. He's going to get 1 car up with him. James Nesta will try to help that Hugh Brown machine, but he's just not getting it done right now. He needs more than 2 cars, more than just a side draft if he is going to get that lane challenging for the lead. For now, everyone seems content to run up on the inside up front.
That number 29 of James Nesta's dipping and diving everywhere, just trying to find a lane that's going to work for a run, trying to get to the front, get that track position. It is becoming pretty important because you get shuffled out, you go right to the back and just running single file here. It takes a while to get that track position back because we're just nowhere to go.
Now we are, lap times are, you'll see them start to fall off here as we get further and further into this stint, and the cars get looser and looser. The tire wear isn't as bad as it could be with the night race here tonight. The track temp down at only 82 degrees. If we were running track temp upwards of 100, I think you'd have seen a lot more cautions right now, but these drivers are running clean. The tires are gripping up at the moment, and it is delaying this tire. And as I say that, we're wrecking further back. Hugh Brown, head on into the fence. No caution on that one. There's the caution. William Hewitt also heavily involved in that accident. We're going to replay here. It looked like some net code between Hewitt and Brown sent those two hard into the fence.
Big impact, most likely race ending for those two. We'll take a look and see how much damage they can get fixed.
We will see. We'll get that replay here of Hewitt's spin. This really looked like some net code here as we made our way down to the corner. Hugh Brown, you can't see it from that angle, but he didn't really touch him. That was all net code there between those two cars. We're going to go on board with that brown UPS car. Yeah, there we go. On board with the brown UPS car. You see here. Doesn't really hit him. It may be some contact. Looked like mostly net code there between those two. It was certainly close.
Looks like damaged cars and a potential car trying to maybe flip some strategy here. I believe that is the...
That is your race leader.
Yep, Danny Carpenter machine, yep.
That is the 28 race leader of Danny Carpenter there, coming down pit road. And it seems like most of the back half of the field will join him. Hugh Brown is obviously in to fix damage, but Michael Reeves has come down. Trevor Baxter has joined him in the pit lane. Looks like we'll have Bradley Knopsnyder, Matthew Kurgelek, Brian Burchett. A lot of cars there into the pits.
That gives the lead to Corey Adkins here. Adkins, one of the drivers, has been pretty aggressive, trying to stay up front all night long. Trying to steal a win away here. The 12 machine of Trevor Baxter, most dominant driver here all season long and tonight, right now finds himself in 13th.
And he'll hope to maybe dodge some of the incidents here. When you take 4 tires like that, or when you take a pit stop like that, excuse me, he took fuel only, but when you do take a pit stop like that, it can be dangerous because it puts you right back in the hornet's nest there in the mid-pack, and you can get into some accidents there that you really aren't trying to get in just by virtue of being back where all the chaos happens. It's a lot easier to dodge wrecks at plate tracks if you are out front. So Baxter will likely look to get back to the lead in a hurry here, get himself up ahead of any potential accidents that might arise and that could take him out of the race and ruin his chance to win his 10th of the season. Lights on the pace car are off this time.
Quick update on a couple drivers in that incident. Hugh Brown has officially DNF'd from the race. William Hewitt on pit road still getting damage fixed.
All right, Steve, see a couple cars involved there in that one. And yeah, we are going to see some DNFs as the race starts to go on. Super speedways like this, they can go very clean or they can be a race of attrition. And so far, we haven't really seen either. Got a couple cautions, 3 in total, 2 for cause, 1 for the stage. We haven't seen many cars caught up in those accidents. The first one was just a spin. Second one, a 2-car crash. No big ones yet tonight at Atlanta, but if we are going to get one, we've got about 110 laps left for it to happen. So these drivers are going to be on their A game for the rest of this thing to make sure that they don't risk getting in any accidents here over the course of the rest of this race. Because if you want to win this race, you've got to be there at the end. Up front, it will be the 24 machine. That is Corey Adkins. You've got Gus Otero up in second on the outside of that car. Stephen Bird will go from third. Nate Pollard from fourth. Nate Pollard from fifth, excuse me. It'll be Keith Pittman going from fourth. Pollard still on that old rubber. Will he get a good restart? The answer, not really, but it's a great one for Corey Adkins out front.
Oh, 26 misses a shift.
There he is, big spin, caution flies for the 4th time tonight. That is the 26 machine of Stephen Bird around right after the green flag Looked like he missed the shift there and went for a propeller ride.
To see if one of the cars behind him got contact. It was very close. He just spun that sucker right out. Not sure. I don't think it missed shift to me. Let's take a look at this replay.
Take another look here on the restart. Yeah, it looks like he might have
Pollard
gone
got
around
some
on his
contact.
own there. Certainly looked like it was a shifting issue as he just spun it all on his own. Oh, I can tell you what the issue is. Instead of upshifting to third, he downshifted back to first. And that is what sent that car around.
This looks like a Pollard contact as well.
He just shifted the wrong direction there. So maybe had one of those
Heavy
kind of
contact to Nate
ace
Pollard.
pattern shifters and just put it in the wrong direction. We will see about that. He will have to recover from the lead, but it doesn't look like he money shifted the engine, and it doesn't look like he hit anything. So he should be good here, albeit he might need a change of tires in that 26 car if he wants to keep it up front. Gotta be careful about how you manage those, though, because you only get 5 for the whole race. And while I'm sure a lot of these drivers would like to take tires at every chance they get, you can't do that or else you'll be in trouble. Nate Pollard will now come into the pit lane in that 16 car with some damage on the rear end of that machine from some hits to
And the front.
rear end.
And the front
Daniel
from hitting
Best
that
will
car.
join him in the pits, and Thomas Freeman as well. Yeah, he's got damage kind of on all sides of that 16.
Pollard did make heavy contact there with Stephen Bird when he missed that shift.
So that'll be damage for both of those cars there in Pollard. That shouldn't be too hard to fix. It might take a little bit of time, but it won't be a big accident for the 16. It shouldn't end his day or anything. Yeah, we're going to give one of our shout-outs here to a sponsor of the series who was on that 16 car of Nate Pollard. That is Kinetic Gaming. They are one of the partners of the Door Racing League. They are also the primary sponsor there of that 16 car of Nate Pollard. He'll look to get them into victory lane after he makes the necessary repairs to get himself back out on the racetrack. We've got 5 cars here that have not pit over the last couple cautions. It is Corey Adkins, Gus Otero, Keith Pittman, Joshua Hyatt, and Ronald Judd. Everybody else has come down over the last few laps. Carpenter, Reeves, Switzer, and Baxter came down for fuel-only stops. Everybody else has come down for tires or has come down for fuel last time around.
A lot of different strategies here, trying to figure out which one's going to be the right one. I believe the pace car lights should go off this time. Yes, they do. Man, so much happening right here, but I got to say, if you want some great racing to be a part of, got to check out Door Racing League here. They have been putting on great shows each and every week. And this is just one of those tracks that, once we get closer and closer to the end, it's going to, really ramp up that intensity, and drivers might make some mistakes.
We will see how it develops as we head down to the end of this race, but as you said, we always get some good racing here in the Door Racing League, especially when we get pretty good car counts. You got 25 cars out on the racetrack here tonight, and they're putting on a show, as they always do. It's good racing, and maybe most importantly here in iRacing, it tends to be pretty clean racing. Don't often get a lot of cautions in this series, and you've always got some good battles up towards the front of the field. We'll see if we can get some green flag laps in here till the end of the stage after our 4th caution of the race was brought out for a missed shift on the restart by the 26 of Stephen Bird. It'll be a very similar lineup up front here. Same 2 on the front row. Corey Adkins, Gus Otero 1st and 2nd, with Pittman 3rd, with Hyatt 4th. There at the moment, you'll have your first car who's pit for fuel, Danny Carpenter, in 5th, and you will have the 64 of Ronald Judd, last car who stayed out through all this, in 6th. Pace car will pull off. We're into the restart zone, and Adkins is off on lap 63.
Adkins with a monster jump leads the field down into turn 1 with no problem. Have to keep an eye on that mirror, make sure it doesn't get too far out, because that 03 of Keith Pittman is going to have one heck of a run with the help from Gus Otero.
rest of the field. He's got a good run right now. Oh, Hyatt trying to get in there, but he can't quite make the move down to the bottom. He's going to have a car jumping up behind him. That'll be the 4 of Chris Chavez. Haven't seen him up at the front of the field much tonight. But he's trying to make some moves right now, get himself up into the top 10.
Ronald Judd just kind of dropping like a rock. I believe that damage in the front of that number, excuse me, if the Ronald Judd machine, the 64, is the number on the side of that machine, it just dropped like a rock. The damage is pretty big.
Yeah, Judd has absolutely been struggling in the early stages of this run. He's also stayed out, so he's running on less fuel and older tires than many of the cars in the field that are certainly not helping. Speaking of cars who have hit, Trevor Baxter is on a mission. We said it, he hit a couple times ago there, took fuel, went back to 14th, and we knew he was going to run a charge back up to the front. He's already getting that done right now. Got it up in 7th in no time on the outside of the 6th car of Joshua Switzer, trying to hit 6th away. He's pushing Carpenter.
Great execution on the pushes there for Trevor Baxter, doing a great, contact there, door to door for the 6 and 28, excuse me.
A little bit of contact up front, a little bit of contact all race. We've seen some door-to-door contact, but a lot of it has been these big bump drafts, these huge pushes being given to drivers, like Switzer is giving to the 0-0 of Michael Reeves right there. You can see the rear camera there from Reeves as he continues to make his way around. Pushing hard is that 6.
We'll see if anybody decides to shoot that middle gap. Right now, that top line is getting organized. Slowly but surely starting to creep up next to that number 6. See if that brings Reeves. No, Reeves decides to stay down.
Carpenter now up on the top, still trying to get that line going, as he has been for a little bit now, being pushed by Trevor Baxter. But despite being 2 of your fastest cars in the series, they don't have the momentum at the moment. Oh, 0-0 hooked into the fence. Big hit for a couple cars. Bird is huge involved. Lark is totaled, and Baxter has gotten caught up in it on the front end.
Big one has arrived.
Lot of cars. That might have been the big one we were warning about. Baxter, Lark, Pollard, Mullinax, Michael Reeves. Huge hits for all of those cars. Several of those will likely be race enders here tonight. We'll get a replay, and you could really see that coming there. Carpenter just started to move down the racetrack, and Reeves started to move up the racetrack. It was like it was coming in slow motion as that 0-0 moved his way up the track and made contact with Danny Carpenter. That'll probably be a race ender there for Michael Reeves. Head on into the wall, flips the 10 and the 26. That is William Lark and Stephen Bird. So the 2 Birds have been killed with 1 hit there. A couple other cars also involved. We saw Baxter take major damage in that accident. A couple other cars such as Nate Pollard with a big hit sideways. Thomas Freeman as well.
Big incident there. Baxter, late incident there. I don't know if he was just coming up, not expecting a car to be on his outside, but it was pretty close. We'll have to see what happened there with Baxter again.
We're going to get an onboard cam here, looking backwards on the 0-0 of Michael Reeves. When you see the contact with Carpenter, big hit to the fence sends him spiraling and into about 3 cars back there. That is some major damage. Great shot there from our producer. Yeah, this is on board with Nate Pollard in the 16 here. He's coming in further behind, and you just see that 0-0 go spiraling off the wall back into traffic and catching out several cars there. Nowhere anyone could go. On board with Philip Mullinax here as well. One of the cars was already laps down coming into this, and it's going to be even more laps down. Nearly squeaked it through, couldn't quite do it. Extra hits there with Bird. We've got a lot of cars who have gone a lap down here trying to get the damage fixed. Chris Chavez is sorry. Danny Carpenter, Thomas Freeman, Michael Reeves, and Stephen Bird, you see them right there, are all 1 lap down or more. And Thomas Freeman, Michael Reeves, and Stephen Bird are all still in the pit lane taking damage. In fact, Mullinax and Freeman have both just disconnected from the session. So while Baxter is tagged by Carpenter, turned around.
We're gonna have a potential of having another new winner or a new multi-time winner.
Danny Carpenter first gets into the double zero on the onboard, bounces off the wall, back down into Baxter. He's gone 1 lap down, and he's still trying to get damage fixed on that car. I believe he is. He has gotten it out now, but he is going to still be a lap down. And Reeves and Bird will go 2 down, with Freeman confirmed to have DNF tonight. So that is some contenders. Some cars running up front who have been taken out. We'll go back up double wide. Adkins, Pittman, Otero, Hyatt, and Judd all still have not pit.
A lot can happen. As you can see, field definitely thinned out a little bit there. Some cars now out here with damage. We'll have to see how it plays out. Gonna have a lot of new faces in new places.
We've definitely had some drivers move their way up to the front of the field here. James Nesta gonna roll off in 5th. I believe that's the highest we've seen him tonight. Michael Kurgelet back there in 10th has moved his way up through the field as well. I don't think we've said Tommy Osborne's name at all, but he's done a good job to dodge the accidents, and he'll roll off back in 11th here. Pace car will pull in, will enter the restart zone for Adkins and Pittman. Good jump for Adkins, more green.
Oh boy, lots of cars trying to make dips and dives. Four cars already falling to the back here. We got the whole bottom line trying to get themselves organized. Everybody's just dropping to the bottom and trying to figure out what cars they can and can't push anymore.
Otero continues to try to push Adkins out front and all single file on the bottom. We've seen it a couple times. The high line doesn't really come in until you're a couple laps into a run. Seems to be the case right now, with everyone favors to go right on the apron.
You can see Danny Carpenter and Trevor Baxter, though, even though they're involved in that accident, trying to get back into that top line and get it going.
That they are. Carpenter is 1 lap down. Baxter is still on the lead lap. He didn't take as much damage as he could have from that accident. That car looks pretty clean out there, and he's running it up in 11th, and he only took about 30 seconds of repairs, it looked like. So a bad situation is only a bad one and not a catastrophic one for Trevor Baxter. He will try to work his way back up front so he doesn't get caught up in any more accidents. He's working with the car who he got caught up in an accident with, the lap car, the 28 of Danny Carpenter, who wants to get himself unlapped the old-fashioned way, going up and doing it as we hit 10 to go in stage 2.
Oh, tried to sneak there to the outside of the 5. Like you said, trying to be aggressive and probably just keep leading that outside line so he can get himself in that lead as the, not as just a free pass, but just getting his lap back the old-fashioned way. Trying to make it happen, but it seems to push them back. So we'll see if it gets the back bump of this 5 and of Daniel Best and push him to the front and then shuffle him out.
We'll see if Daniel Best can hold it, but that 28 is looking hard, and he'll look a little high up there into that corner. He was really pushing the 5, but decided he wanted to try something different. Didn't end up working, but after that move, if I'm the 5, I am a little concerned by the 28. Seems like Baxter might have been as well because he pulled it back down to the bottom there.
Serious action in the back of this pack right now. Also got a yellow flag. I believe this is a break.
This is for Nate Pollard.
Okay.
Damaged hard on the front straightaway.
Oh boy.
I think this was just a self-spin that went horribly wrong.
Left front's not even moving.
Yeah, it was. We'll get a replay here of Nate Pollard going, oh! There was some contact, but it was way after the fact. Wow, okay, Nate Pollard here is going to be on the inside, and he's just going to get loose. He'll spin himself out. He's going to have a bad overcorrection and just go head on into the outside wall. That's rough. That's bad, but he's going to come down the track, and he's going to nail Tommy Osborne in the 44.
Poor guy was doing a great job of just running his own race. Like we said earlier on, I didn't really say too much about him, and looks like that might do it there for Mr. Osborne, who was having not a very big flashy night, but was trying to stay in the mix.
Yeah, and he couldn't really see it because he was tucked up so close behind Chris Chavez-Asari in the 4 car. He didn't realize how far down the track that car had moved until it was too late. We'll go inboard. We'll go in car, not inboard, with Tommy Osborne here as he makes his way through the corner. Excuse me, this is Nate Pollard still. Yeah, that is an overcorrection and a half for Nate Pollard there into that wall. And he just keeps rolling it. I think if he held the brakes, everybody would have been fine. We'll watch Tommy Osborne now in the 44 car as he made his way into this action. He's tucked right up on the back of the 4 here. It's even closer from a driver's POV. You see his vision's kind of obscured, and yeah, the 16 just keeps coming down. He tries to follow Pollard through, and he doesn't have the time to do it because he's still rolling down the racetrack.
Man, big contact. Definitely going to probably put a big damper in his night. Looks like we probably are going to have about 10 to 12 competitive cars left here, but still going to be great racing, especially some cars trying to get their laps back.
Yeah, speaking of cars getting their laps back, I believe the lucky dog there did go to Chris Chavez-Asari, who just barely made it out around that 16 car. He'll get the lucky dog. He will be back on the lead lap in his 4 car.
That leaves 2 cars, 1 lap down. I believe one of those cars will be on pit road for quite some time. So keep an eye on that. I believe Danny Carpenter, one of those drivers, trying to get that lap back. Like we watched earlier on, was being pretty aggressive trying to get that lap back, we believe, the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, he really wants to get that position. Danny Carpenter would very much like to get himself back on the lead lap there, but he wasn't able to do it that time. Got about half the cars who started this race. We started with 23. We're now down to, will be, I believe, 13 on the lead lap as the lights on the pace car are out. Yes, it might actually be 14. I think William Lark is going to get the lap back here.
As William Lark was the free pass recipient, will give us that 14th car on the lead lap with 14 cars with an opportunity to win this. If you're in it, you're able to win it with this type of racing. We'll see who ends up being the lucky one.
We will find out tonight. It's going to be 5 to go in the stage as we get back rolling here on Maconi Entertainment in the Door to Door Racing League, and it is going to be a competitive one up here at the front of the field. Same top 2 as we've seen on the last couple restarts. Corey Adkins and Gus Otero with Pittman and Switzer 3rd and 4th. Couple new cars further back. Nesta, and how about Bradley Knopsnyder back in 6th? Haven't heard much from him tonight, but he's moved up 10 spots here in this race. The pace car is going to pull off this time as we head out of 4. 85 is the end of the stage, and we will go back green on 81 for Adkins and Otero. As the pace car pulls down and we inch towards the restart zone. Early jump for Adkins. We're back green.
Big jump there for Adkins. We'll see what plays out for the rest of the field with the damage vehicles out there. As you can see, it looks like Gus Otero being the loser on that restart, losing quite a few spots.
Yeah, he's dropping back. That outside line seems not to be the one to restart in because we've seen a couple cars, Otero especially, drop spots when they've moved out there. Here's some battles going on further back. Trevor Baxter wants to get himself some extra stage points here in this race, trying to slice his way up to the front of the pack. Rolling 7th, now 6th. Big run on Knopsnyder.
Trevor Baxter, doing a great job just driving back to the field. I thought he was going to be out of this race after being in contact with that wall, but he's convincing me he's still the winner. One of the favorites to be a winner.
He's done a great job to get that damage repaired and to come back flying through the field like it never even happened. Oh, big stack up there. Danny Carpenter, the car at the back of it, had to get way out of line. He can't be involved in any accidents because he's running one lap down, and he desperately wants that lucky dog here so he can get back on the lead lap. We're still single file on the inside as we come around to 2 to go in the stage, but it'll be Baxter, the first car, trying to break the train and get him to the top.
Baxter will fall back in line as he's the only driver to bump up to the top as Danny Carpenter tries to become one of those drivers to jump up to the top. We'll see if anybody else wants to be pushed by that lapped car. Carpenter trying to sneak around that number 3 machine with Brian Burchett.
1.5 to go. That's about 2.25 miles left in the stage tonight at Atlanta, and we're wrecking further back. The 6 of Switzer is hard into the fence.
Another big hit there for Trevor Baxter as well.
That will be that will be a stage win for the car who made it back first. Corey Adkins. He'll get it over Pittman, Otero, Burchett, Nesta, Hyatt, Best, Baxter, Lark, and despite getting totaled in that wreck, Joshua Switzer. We're going to replay of it right here. That was coming for a while off the nose of James Nesta, and it's heavy damage for the 12 of Trevor Baxter in that incident as well. The nose on that car is flopping in the wind, and that might take a little bit longer to get fixed.
Bunch of cars coming down pit road right now here, Sky. Obviously, quite a few of those cars getting the damage. We'll see which ones are doing this a pit strategy, but looking at the field right now, most of them got damaged, but I believe that that 24 machine of Adkins was our leader. So he is now on pit road.
About halfway through this race now, as Adkins on pit road will be your stage winner, but we'll see who beats everybody else out of the pits right now. It won't be Baxter, it will be Corey Adkins there in the 24, way out in front of Daniel Best in the 5, Gus Otero in the 76, Pittman will come out 4th. It will be, let's see, James Nesta out 5th. Fuel only for Daniel Best is what's going to get him up there ahead of the 4-tire cars. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the final stage here on Maconi Entertainment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi's Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
We are back here at Atlanta for the Door Racing League Cup Series. 7th caution of the night is for a spin involving the 6 of Joshua Switzer, and it will also serve as our stage break here in tonight's race. Corey Adkins, your stage 2 winner, picking up where he left off. Danny Carpenter, will be your stage 1 winner. He did not get he did not get the lucky dog there. Adkins jumps, great jump for him on lap 88. Back single file around the inside here in Atlanta. That will change pretty quickly, though. I imagine we've only got a couple more laps of that before cars start to jump up to the top and we get a second lane forming before too long.
Yep, we've been watching throughout this whole race. About 10 laps, 10, 15 laps, the drivers become more comfortable jumping up to the top where the tires and the setups become to get a little bit of handling issues. The top line starts to work, but we'll see if anybody else decides to maybe try it a little bit earlier on. As we look, we got Michael Kurjak there in 8th place. There, he's been pretty quiet. Kurjak, there we go. Woo, Kurjak. He's in 8th place. He's been pretty quiet all through the race. We'll see what he can do here in this final stage.
Yeah, I was getting all set to ask him how to pronounce that pre-race, but he has it in his username, so I'll give him that. Didn't even have to ask. He's already got it. Kurjak running in 8th right now behind that 4 car of Chris Chavez-Asari, who we haven't seen much tonight, but he's made his way up to the field. So has Brian Burchett, who started out in 22nd and has got that car rolling in 6th. A couple cars who have done a great job to dodge the chaos here at Atlanta and have a pretty good run here in the middle stages of this race. Stage 3 gets underway. Those drivers will look to hold their spot as we're still single file on the bottom.
A little bit of snaking here throughout this top 5. It seems like the drivers are struggling to keep those cars turned down in the dirty air. Makes these cars very tight. You got no air on the front of these cars. It just, the front end just chatters away and you're just going straight.
That it does. We're looking on board with the leader there of the 24 of Atkins. Cut back to that rear bumper cam so you can see Daniel Best giving him all the pushes in that 5 car. Best wants to be the best. Wants to get himself a win tonight. He's already got 1 win so far this season. He took that one back at Talladega, so he knows how to get it done on these drafting tracks. We'll see if he can get it done again here tonight. When we raced in this series at Atlanta for the 2nd race of the season, Best came home 2nd, only behind Trevor Baxter. So he's got a record of running fast in this track, in this series. Let's see if we can get up to the lead here and go from 2nd to 1st.
Yes, if I'm correct, this should be the first repeat track on the schedule for 2025. Some of these drivers that have been here before kind of have some type of notes, but I believe the first race was during the daytime. This is under the lights. We'll see who learned something from the previous race, and it looks like Daniel Best is doing his best to maybe best himself 1 more position from the previous race.
He's pushing that 24 car really hard. We'll go on board with the 5 here. You can see how he's driving this 24. Backing it up a little, looking a little bit high, maybe trying to get some cool air on the nose of that car. It can be pretty easy to overheat these things when you are racing real tight behind another driver. You've got to take those brakes to get out of line, or else you could blow the engine. You're seeing Danny Carpenter still 1 lap down in that 28. He's going to need a caution and a lucky dog to get back on the lead lap, but he hasn't had it yet. He will continue to try to get it the old-fashioned way, do it under green, as he tries to go 3 wide around Bradley Knopfsnyder there. Let's see if he can get that going. Doesn't look like he will. Excuse me, that's not Knopfsnyder. That's Kurjak back there in 41. Still won't get the move done. He'll drop back regardless.
Tons of slicing and dicing back here. Trevor Baxter, somehow, some way, is in 11th. The car damaged up, trying to make some moves out of there. Try to keep some type of streak alive.
He's trying to get his 10th win in his, I believe, 15th start in this series, but it's always hard to get those wins in a super speedway, and especially if you're a dominant driver like Baxter, it's going to be even harder to get one here than it would at a more typical mile and a half. So he's got to be on his A game, and he will also likely need some cautions to get that damage fixed, to get that car back at 100% to try and win this race. Asari is up there in that 4 car, dropping way back and out of line. Oh, 28 of Carpenter spun through the infield. That is a huge impact to that inside wall. And that might be the end of the night for Danny Carpenter.
It looks like it will. Yep, it looks like he's going to pull off track. Left front is absolutely destroyed there for the number 28 of Danny Carpenter. He is taking the toe and heavy contact.
We'll get a replay of that here for the 28 machine of Danny Carpenter. This goes off the nose there. That is off of the 64 of Ronald Judd, who was running on the bottom. Just kind of looked like it coming together. One car came down, one car came up. And that is the end result.
That was a great shot there. Got to appreciate shout out to Whiplash Sim Cams for helping Marty, our producer, provide these awesome shots here tonight. That was awesome right there right on our pit road. And unfortunate though for the driver of Danny Carpenter to be on the losing end of that.
That is unfortunate indeed, and that will definitely end his race here. He goes back to the pits, and yes, he has already left the session. So Danny Carpenter is done for the night. He was trying so hard to get that lap back, and it's just not going to work out for him in the end. Car kind of got bumped down to the apron there. That was William Lark in the 10, off the nose of Trevor Baxter in the 12. But they all keep it straight, all keep it steady in line, and that 12 car will continue trying to move his way back up to the lead from P9.
Somehow, that car is still coming to the front. Unbelievable. That car's been through so much. That driver does not give up either. But Corey Atkins still leads the way as the laps are winding down. Down to, I believe, our final 67 laps here very shortly.
Yeah, laps are ticking away here in Atlanta as the cars stay in a train. Like an Amtrak, single file, all the way around the tracks on the bottom. No one going to jump out of line just yet. We're going to stick with it here on the bottom as we head back across the start-finish line here tonight.
Speaking of over 60 laps to go, that means they'll have to pit one time still in this final stint.
They will still have to pit. We're going to have a green flag pit stop. It's only 85% fuel load tonight, and I believe 80 laps is enough to make these drivers pit anyway. You can save a little more fuel when you are running single file like this. You're not going to save enough fuel to make it the entirety of stage 3 on only one stop, or on only 0 stops.
Good to see drivers within the last 25 laps to make that final pit stop. We'll keep an eye on that.
We'll see the strategy call. You definitely want drivers to all come into the pits together here. If you come in alone, you can really get caught out at a drafting track like this. You want a pack coming in with you, but Atlanta's pit exit, or pit entry, is dangerous as it is when you're only one car coming in. When you've got multiple, it can be downright deadly entering these pits.
Field right now, single file. Everybody kind of just buying their time here. I think Sky with this pack right now, I think this might be a good time for some crank it up.
I think we can do a little crank it up here. You can hear the cars head around at Atlanta. we are back here after that cranked it up in the Door Cup Series at Atlanta. We're still single file on the bottom, but some cars are steadily trying to move a little bit higher. We'll see if the second line forms anytime before this pit stop.
Definitely got some time for some pit stops to come around. Like I said, it takes about 10 to 15 laps for these drivers to start venturing to that top line. We've had a lot more cars getting damaged though. So we'll see how that plays out into the 2 lanes working. We'll see how many cars can make that top line work without the damaged cars hindering that progress.
Laps continue to tick away as we all file around on the bottom. We are gonna stay single file here on the bottom. Next race in the Door Cup Series. We're looking a little far ahead here, but it'll be next week at the Chicago Street Circuit. July 6th, same time, 8 Central, 7, or 8 Eastern, 7 Central, excuse me. At Chicago, same time, same place. Maconi Entertainment. If Best doesn't quit moving up to the high side there, he is going to get passed by Gus Otero because that 76 keeps wanting to send the move in.
Keep leaving that bottom open, it becomes pretty appetizing. As you can see, Otero gets a little tight on the entry. Will get a good run on exit. We'll see what the 5 does. Decides to stay right there. Gus with no push just yet. Is riding the line, biding their time at 180 miles an hour around this Echo Park Speedway.
Otero on board here. Continues to hound Adkins and Best. He's not going to try to force a move at this point, but if the 5 keeps having handling issues and keeps sliding up the racetrack, if he gets an opportunity, he will absolutely pounce on it in that 76 car. Not full throttle around here, saving a little bit of fuel as he keeps running in the 3rd. Not straight up pushing that 5 car either. But right now, he's making it work.
Yep, everybody's definitely starting to get tight. Whew. As we got 1 car already up in the top lane there, that's Trevor Baxter trying to make it work there.
We'll see if he can get anybody up there with him. He's got Ronald Judd trying to look high, and then you got another car further back. I believe that might be Knop Snyder in the 87 running him last, trying to get himself back up the field. You see that is over at the bottom of the 26. It's Knop Snyder way out back there on the top line, trying to make something happen. Baxter's not really making it work right now. He's been passed by Hyatt. He's been passed by Lark. We have an engine blown, potentially. Smoke out of 1 car further back here. Not sure if that was anyone's field. There was some smoke out of a car momentarily. Gave us a scare up here, but everybody kept it all green, all smooth, and it looks like everybody's pretty fine.
All right, we got another car jumping up to the top lane here. There's a 26 of Stephen Bird. He is 12 laps down. Looks like he's still in it to win it. Or excuse me, not in it to win it, but in it to give some positions here. Towards the end of this race, we get late race wrecks. He can grab a couple spots or 2.
We're heading down to about 50 to go here at Echo Park Speedway. You can see it from the blimp cam here. Everybody left in the race as we've had some problems here. We've had some accidents. The big one struck at one point, and we've lost several contenders, including Danny Carpenter and Joshua Switzer from tonight's race. 2 cars who are really up here competing for the win. Oh, hey, Michael Reeves has just come out of the pits. He took 17 and a half minutes of repair. He is 33 laps down, but he's just pulled it back onto the racetrack. He's going to go out here. He's going to pass Switzer and Carpenter. Try to get some points tonight. Good for him.
You can't blame him for that either. You know, 2 points is 2 points. If you don't have a win and you want to make sure you're in that relative area to get, not knocked out of the playoffs. So every point will count. I didn't really check the points before we came in here tonight. We'll have to see what it looks like here at the end of this race. See if anybody that's outside of the playoffs can make their way in with a big upset win here tonight.
We'll see if anyone can get it done right now. Corey Adkins is still your race leader. He does not have a win yet this season. He's only running part-time. He's got 7 starts, only 1 top 5 and 2 top 10. But he has been a non-stop contender all night long in tonight's race. Daniel Best does have a win. 3rd in the overall point standings at the moment, only behind Trevor Baxter and Michael Reeves. This will be a pretty big win for him if he could pull it off. He's 2nd this season in laps led as well, only to Trevor Baxter. Pittman running in 4th does not have a win. In fact, quite honestly, Pittman does not have a start in this series this season, so it would be a good way to start. 1 race, 1 win for that 03 car if he can pull it off. James Nesta further back is on the playoff cut line right now. He needs a good finish if he wants to stay up here in the point standings.
Getting a few more laps into this run. We got these cars now all starting to kind of get all over the place. We see Baxter just hanging on the outside line, just waiting for a few more cars to jump up there. That I think that lane might be ready.
Under 50 to go as Best starting to drop back a little bit. So is Otero. You mentioned it. We'll see if anyone does try that run here, or if everybody is going to wait until we get that green flag pit stop. The 5, ooh, almost took a peek down there to the bottom on Adkins, but he didn't get anything going. I think if we are going to get a big 2nd lane push going, these drivers are going to wait until the big pit stop comes. Once that stop starts happening and everybody cycles through out of the pits, you'll see all-out racing. For now, I think cars just kind of want to wind down the laps until they can get to that last pit stop. Oh, car in the wall. That is a lapped car. Max Reeves in the 00. Michael Reeves in the 00.
Yep, looks like he's just trying to stay out of harm's way, trying to grab those 2 more points.
Slip to the back. He is just trying to grab points with a damaged, broken race car. Doing all he can to kind of just hang out here in this field.
Hey, even if he was on pit road for 17 minutes, he probably had a good seat watching this awesome racing action, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've had a good one here tonight as the laps continue to wind down. We continue to train around the bottom at Atlanta. Nobody wants to be the car who causes the accident here. Pretty steady in line, although the only car who we've really seen try to make the push on the top is Baxter, who is hungry for his 10th win this season, and he does not want to be running back in 9th. He wants to be running at the very front. The issue is the only car who seems to share that philosophy is the 12-lap down Stephen Bird machine. He's got damage, and he's not exactly the best pusher right now.
Yeah, it looks like Stephen Bird is trying to run that top line, but he just does not have the car with the damage to get there. But I got to give this Trevor Baxter some props, as he's almost cracked himself in the top 5 all by himself on that top line. Great side drafting down the backstretch here.
He's finally starting to get it. Nesta looks like he might be willing to pull up in front of that 12 car, and if he does, that could certainly give Baxter some extra speed here as we continue to wind down the laps in this race. He's side by side, still for 6th with that 3 machine of Brian Burchett down there on the bottom. Nesta, he peeked up like he wanted to help, but he hasn't gone up there. He stayed back behind him. Bird has pulled into the bottom, and this is not good for that 10 car. He's starting to fall back.
Yep, looks like Bird just gets a run on that high line and just cannot make it stick to stay on the back bumper. Makes a few spots up there, falls right back, but up front, your top 5, Corey Atkins, Daniel Best, Gus Otero, Keith Pittman, and James Nesta. When will they make their pit stops? That is the next question.
It's going to be pretty soon here. I don't think we're going to be more than about 20-ish laps before we start to get those cars down pit road here. It's going to be everybody trying to come in at the same time. 42 laps on the current set of tires and fuel. That's actually introducing a little bit of handling issues for these cars. It's not as bad as it was earlier as the track temp has continued to fall here. And now we've got those cars making the pit stops. We said it might come in the next 20. It'll come right now. First 3 cars down are going to be Burchett, Chavez Asari, and Kurjalak.
As you know, they can run as fast as they want right there on pit road, but they got to get to pit road speed once they get to the line. Let's see if there's any more takers this time down the backstretch.
Looks like no. Those drivers who pit now should be good to go the distance here tonight, even if we get a little bit of mileage added on with the potential overtime. And they will come out here, and they will stick together. That is going to be important. Having those 3 cars to push you around the racetrack could make all the difference here coming down to the end of the race tonight. I do want to take a quick look on if any of those drivers took tires or if they were going fuel only. It does look like 4 tires there, excuse me. It was left sides only for the Ford car of Chavez Asari, and it looks like everybody in that pack came down for lefts only on their car. So bold strategy call, not one we'd really see typically, but maybe lefts are the problem tires here at Atlanta.
Those left side tires probably get a little bit more wear on them just because of the way his next gen works. Right now, those cars that just pitted are a lap down. They'll be trapped a lap down if we get a caution right here, right away.
Well, we'll see as the racing has really started to heat up front. These drivers are doing battle to try and get everything they can before we do end up getting that pit stop here coming down to the end of this race. You've got Baxter working on the top line still, but he does with the car in front of him. Keith Pittman seems willing to make that run go on the top. We'll see if anyone further up wants to join him or if it is just this 2-car tandem. Oh, blinking for the 2. Big blinking for the 2 of Hyatt. He is going to keep it straight, but he was inside of another car there for a hot second, and he is looking like he might park it here with those internet issues.
That is the worst possible time for that to happen. Unfortunately, nobody else was involved.
No, that could have been a lot worse there for that 2-car of Hyatt when he did start to get way slowed down on the racetrack like that. We'll pull it back up to speed, but he is losing a lot of time. We're going to try to get a replay of what happened to the 2-car of Joshua Hyatt. You can see his internet just kind of goes away up here. Down the front straightaway, he loses connection.
Very fortunate for nobody else to be involved in that. And does the right thing. Does the right thing too, and gets it off the track and out of harm's way.
Yeah, as mentioned, could have been a lot worse for that 2-car if he did not pull that thing off the racetrack as quickly as he did. But it will be bad for him. Oh! Gus Otero is going to come in alone. That could not have been the plan for that 76 car.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty detrimental to go coming by yourself. No help is not good. You want to have as much drafting help as you can when you come off of pit road.
He might be alone out there. That'll be a major problem for that 76 of Otero. Oh my goodness! That is the 03 of Keith Pittman in like a missile. There's missing the pit road, and then there is whatever that was.
Big penalty, of course.
Yeah, the pit road speed limit here is about 45 miles an hour. Not only did he miss the commitment cone, but he hit it going about 133. So I think that would be a pretty big ticket if it was on a straight here.
A little quick.
Just a little. He might be able to argue that one down to a warning here if he's lucky. This is an interesting pit cycle because we're getting so many cars who are just in kind of by themselves right now. That includes the 5 of Daniel Best. Are these cars maybe hoping that others will come with them and then they don't? They are all in one voice channel, so in theory, Best would be able to signal to other cars that he was coming this time, but he hasn't been. Judd will come in now, Knop Snyder will come in now, and that looks like they'll at least have 2 in that time. Hey, this is great news for that pack of Asari, Burchett, and Kurjalak. Now that they're all in together, they might be the only cars organized.
It is unique what's going on right here. So many cars just coming on by themselves here. Like you said, they're all in the same chat, so I'm not sure what's going on.
No, this is a very interesting pit strategy. 2 tires between those cars. That is in stark contrast to the 2-tire strategy that we saw deployed by John Levanzari, Brian Burchett, and Michael Kurgelak up there in currently 6th race. They are absolutely in prime position right now. Those 3 cars have played this perfectly. It is a 3.5 second gap back to Daniel Best and Gus Otero, who have found each other after pitting out. Excuse me, it's 3.5 back to Daniel Best. He has not found anybody. It's another 3.5 back to Gus Otero. And because he doesn't have any draft, Best and Otero are rapidly losing speed. This is, right now, if we stay green, Asari, Burchett, and Kurgelak's race to lose, as here comes everybody else down. Adkins, Baxter, Nesta, and Lark will make the pit stop. Will these cars come out ahead of the 4? Let's find out.
Let's see how the execution of their pit stops.
We are watching that 2 car right now at the moment as he continues to stay in line. He is actually pushing that pack of the 4, the 3, and the 41. So that is going to be big if he continues to push them around the racetrack. We will see what happens as they come out of the pits. 4-tire call here. 2 tires for Baxter, 4 tires for Adkins. So they're going to all come out segmented. And Asari is past Lark now. Baxter has made it out ahead of this group, but he's not up to speed. This is going to be Baxter, Asari, Burchett, and Kurgelak for the win of the race. Here they come. They're going to catch that 12 car. Look at this. Let's see how much they blow past him. There they go. Coming around him on the top. The 10 is going to hold him up a little bit, but these 3 will get clear. I think Baxter is going to be able to hold on to the rear end of this line, though. 4-car battle for the lead developing, including 3 cars who we have not seen up front all race, but who have played it perfectly on strategy.
Question it, and they are coming out on top right now. We'll see how the strategy plays out for everybody else, but like we said, these 3 are in the money seat. Some way, somehow, Trevor Baxter, though, right there in 5th.
We'll see if he has damage, because that might hurt his ability to stay in line here with these top 3. One thing to mention is that if Hyatt were to kind of stay out on the racetrack right now any longer and a caution were to fly, everybody but these top 3, maybe top 4, would be trapped a lap down because only Hyatt is going to pit here. He's kind of running his own program. He's kind of throwing everything off strategy-wise. And if a caution were to come out, I can't imagine these top 4 would pit and allow cars to get a wave around.
Definitely want to keep the cars a lap down as long as you can. It's Trevor Baxter making some passes. Some way, somehow, this car is still ticking, and he's looking to probably come out on top of the lead here shortly.
We will see if that is the case here for these cars. Baxter is pushing for it, though. He wants that win number 10 here in race number 18, but he needs to get around some of the biggest underdogs we've seen all season. And Asari, Burchett, and Kurgelak all out here. Asari running only his 2nd race of the season, as Hyatt does make the move down now. In fact, this is only the 2nd race of the season for all 3 of these cars. Imagine if they finished 1, 2, 3 tonight in only their 2nd start.
Some pretty interesting stats right there. All these drivers that are new faces trying to put their name into this league. Like we've been talking about, Door Racing's been great all year, and this is exactly why. Strategies in this final stage playing out. Who's going to come out on top? One of the best all year long, Trevor Baxter, putting the pressure on. He's now in 3rd as they've now cycled here out to the lead.
And yeah, with that pit stop for Hyatt, everybody will cycle back around to the lead lap, and you can see the gap between this 4-car pack and the next is monumental. It is 15 and a half seconds from Asari, Burchett, Baxter, and Kerjalak back to the back of Nesta, Otero, Lark, Best, and Hyatt. That is the difference between 1, staying organized on pit road, and 2, only taking 2 tires. That is what has gotten these cars the dominant lead, and I bet all 4 of these drivers are on their hands and knees begging for this race to stay green so they can bring it home.
Right now, Corey Adkins, one of the leaders, is a lap down and in 12th, so not sure what transpired to that, but not a great execution there for the number 24 machine.
He might have had a speeding penalty. Oh, well, there's the caution. Gus Otero is around. He's off the track. He's on the track. He's off the track. And we are going to stay green as Gus Otero goes for a wild ride down there in turn 4. He's maybe trying to get a caution there by pulling back up, but it doesn't come.
His car is heavily damaged as well, so he is going to be putting around this track. We'll see what's on his mind. We'll see this replay
here. This is Otero going around off the nose of the 10 car. Maybe just moved down a little bit there. Contact with William Lark was what sent him sideways.
Otero was having a good night.
20 to go now here at Atlanta for Chris Chavez Asari, who has come on strong at the end of this race. We haven't seen him up front all night, but this is his chance in that 4 car off of an amazing strategy call to get something done here at the end. These 3 cars of Asari, Burchett, and Kerjalak have played it perfectly. Baxter came up with a great pit strategy as well, and that is why these 4 are alone out front with only the lap cars of Stephen Bird and Ronald Judd to keep them company.
Amazing how much the strategy flipped our field right here. I didn't expect it to work like it did, but here we are. They've got a 16-second lead over 5th place right now.
This is the strategy that is going to prevail here, barring the caution. It also involved a massive undercut for your 3 at the front of the field. Asari, Burchett, and Kerjalak pitting 12 laps earlier than Baxter, Nesta, Lark, Best, everybody else in the field. That's what's gotten them out so far in front. Baxter loves to push the issue on the top, and with help from the lap car of Stephen Bird, we'll see if he can put his way up to the front here in front of Asari and Burchett.
I seriously can't get over how many accidents that the Trevor Baxter machine has been in here tonight, and still finds himself up here battling for the lead late. Final laps here, winding down. He is trying to get himself a podium.
Yeah, if you remember that IndyCar at Nashville race a couple years ago where I believe it was Newgarden flew about 6 feet, or excuse me, Ericsson maybe flew about 6 feet in the air and won anyway. That's what it's been for Trevor Baxter tonight. He's been spinning, he's been in the wall, he's been in other cars, and somehow, some way, he didn't take that much damage to any of them. And when it matters the most, he's up here fighting for the lead in this pack with 15 to go.
The final 15 laps. Gonna be one heck of a battle right here between these 4 drivers. Trevor Baxter trying to do all he can, just trying to break up that 3rd place car. So close to side drafting, just pulling him back just a little bit, but it gets him in the turns.
Not working for him right now. He'll have to dive back into that inside lane as the laps continue to wind down, and Chris Chavez Asari tries to get it done here for his first win in his 2nd race. He's got great help behind from Burchett and Kerjalak, but I have to imagine as the race runs down, these drivers might be a little more willing to start making moves. All 3 of these guys made their first start of the season last week at Pocono, and it was pretty good finishes. They all came back right at the rear end of the top 10. Tonight they'll be looking to do one better and get a podium.
No messing around for these 3 drivers. If I'm Trevor Baxter, That's my new competition right there in front of me. They have played this strategy well.
That they have. It has been a great race for these drivers, and as the laps continue to wind down and Baxter continues to struggle to get anything going, you have to wonder if this 3-car tandem could hold that 12-car off. Baxter just doesn't have anyone else in that line. He is going to need a really aggressive side draft here on Kerjelek, and that's what he's trying to do. He might actually get him. No, he won't get him. But as they side draft, Asari and Burchett are kind of starting to get away up here as Baxter and Kerjelek continue to fall back.
This might turn into a 2-car battle for the lead here shortly.
We've got some lap traffic here. It's going to play a role in this as well. That is Bradley Knopsnyder and Joshua Hyatt. And this is going to be interesting here. They're trying to stay on the lead lap as these 2 cars behind are race leaders. Well, one of them's going to go to the top. Burchett will not. This is going to be huge for Baxter because he's going to be able to get up there to the rear bumper of Chavez Asari and bang that 4-car up around the 2 of Hyatt.
Pushing him so aggressive with the back of that 4-car, getting really loose in the entry to turn 1. Trevor Baxter sees another win right in front of him. This is why he's our most winningest driver here in door-to-door league. We're door-to-door with lap traffic. What an unbelievable finish to this race right here. We got 4 cars battling side by side with lap traffic at the same time. Woo!
Under 10 to go in Atlanta, and it's a lap car pushing these drivers out front. The 26 of Bird is trying to get Asari and Baxter clear, and he has. And now Baxter is side by side with Chavez Asari off the corner. He's side drafting him all the way down the straightaway. Can Trevor Baxter get clear here? This is the question. No, he's slow up into there, and Bird continues to try and push, try to help that 10-car take the lead, and you've got Burchett and Kerjelek back there as well as Baxter has pulled down to P1 to try to claim his 10th win on the season.
Lead right now. I've seen that car in the wall, and I thought a couple times this night was over with, and he is out here proving us wrong. Wow.
That he is. It's been great for that 12 car, but he has those 3 cars who have shown that they like to work together. Asari, Burchett, and Kerjelek, and if they get in a line here and they try to put Baxter back to the rear, anything is possible. Will these 3 get organized enough to make the move? Not yet. We're going to head around to 6 to go, and it'll be Trevor Baxter trying to get yet another win as we see some cars taking a peek high.
Laps winding down, like you said, 6 to go here for these front 4. Who's going to make a move to get around the most winning driver in the league right now?
We're going to find out. I know Asari is going to be hungry. None of these cars have wins yet this season, only have 1 start this season. What a statement it would be to get a win here in their second race, to really announce to the league that they are here and that they can get it done. 5 to go now in Atlanta. The laps continue to wind down for the 10 of Trevor Baxter as he continues to hold the lead over this 3-car tandem.
Right on board here with Chris Chavez Asari in second place, just looking all over the back bumper of that Toyota in front of him. When does he make that decision to pound? Is he going to back up to that number 3 of Brian Burchett to try to get a run and make the pass here on Trevor Baxter? 4 to go.
He might be doing it. He's not. He's going to stay behind him, and now he'll jump up, and now he'll pull back down. Thought about it, but thought better, working down into 1 and 2. He didn't have the run that he would have needed to get, but he is definitely backing it up closer to that 3 of Burchett to try to build up a slingshot here and get around Trevor Baxter. As time continues to run out, Asari gets more and more desperate up here for the win of the race.
Crossing the line now, 3 laps to go. Man, these 3 drivers right here can just turn to the right and just ditch Trevor Baxter. But Trevor Baxter is so dominant, he is just too hard to get past. We got some more traffic in front of leaders. 2.5 laps to go.
That's Michael Reeves way up the road there in the 00. they need to get it going now, because if Baxter is able to get the draft off that 0-0, he's going to be unstoppable. They need to make this move, but they haven't been able to get the run yet. And major backup now for that third place car of Burchett. He might be building up for his own move on Asari as they've caught the lap car. 2 to go.
Oh. Lap car holding him up. No, Trevor Baxter still our leader. Holy smokes, going to the white flag.
We are coming to the white flag, and the lap car of Michael Reeves continues to hold out in front, and Baxter is tucked in behind as Chavez Asari makes the move high here on the white flag. That 4 car has help. He's getting pushed by Brian Burchett, and he's got Kurjalak up there behind him. On the bottom, it's the lap car, it's Baxter, and it's Bird. But right now, Asari has the momentum. Burchett is going to look to the third lane, and he puts himself in the fence. That's going to hurt the run behind. Coming off 4. Asari's got it. And it is the 4 car of Chris Chavez Asari getting it done at Atlanta.
Wow. Wow, wow.
We had that graphic, 10th win of the season. We were all ready for Trevor Baxter to get it.
Yes, we
He
were.
led so many of the last 15 laps, and Chris Chavez Asari steals it away for his first win in the Door Racing League over Baxter, Kurjalak, and Brian Burchett.
And only his second start. Wow.
What a race. Yes, he can. Baxter stayed tucked in line right behind Michael Reeves. And that is going to be what ultimately makes the difference. And he's going to have his friends there, Burchett and Kurjalak, who brought it home 3rd and 4th, are going to celebrate with him. That pit strategy got them all out front, and that pit strategy is what got them these finishes. Just an amazing call to bring it into the pits there, take 2 tires only. They were running back in the mid-pack. You wouldn't know it by the finishing order. We're going to take a break here on Maconi Entertainment. When we come back, we will have interviews from your top 3 and your finishing order. Stay tuned.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
We are back here from Atlanta, and we're going to get your finishing results here as we wait for some cars to pull it up into the booth. It is, you see 3 of your top 4 right there. Chris Chavez Asari getting it done tonight in that Kevin Harvick 4 car at Atlanta. Massive, massive win for him. Finishing second tonight will be Trevor Baxter. Third will be Michael Kurjalak. 4th, Brian Burchett. 5th, James Nesta. 6th, William Lark. 7th, Daniel Best. Those are your drivers on the lead lap. 8th is Joshua Hyatt. 9th is Ronald Judd. And 10th is Bradley Knopfsnyder.
Another one of our most dominant drivers here tonight, Corey Adkins, with a pit road penalty in that last green flag pit stop in our final stage, comes home in 11th. 12th goes to Gus Otero. 13th, Stephen Bird. 14th, William Hewitt. 15th, Keith Pittman. 16th, Michael Reeves. 17th, Danny Carpenter. 18th, Joshua Switzer. 19th, Nathaniel Pollard. 20th goes to Tommy Osborne. 21st, Thomas Freeman. 22nd, Philip Mullinex. 23rd, Hugh Brown. And rounding out our field, 24th is our race controller.
That'll be the end of our results here tonight. We're going to get our first interview in the booth, and it is our race winner, Chris Chavez-Asari. Chris, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good. That was a great race there at the end. First win in your second start. How's it feel?
Oh man, that was freaking awesome. Me and the guys, the strategy worked out perfect.
Yeah, tell me about that pit strategy, because you came in about 10 laps earlier than everybody else, and you came out more organized than everybody else, and that was what ultimately got you up front.
Yeah, we wanted to undercut. We know the undercut works on, super speedway style racing. We just needed to be tight. We could have been a little tighter, but yeah. And then we had to fight Trevor off there at the end, and we had all those lap cars around, so I didn't know what was going to happen.
Tell us about those last 15 laps there. First, when Baxter got the run around you, and then when you all grouped up on the top and put him back to second.
Oh man, I think it was maybe 5 to go. Couldn't feel my right foot. Just numb at that point. I felt a lot better when we were able to get back in line, because I figured the lap cars were going to help him, and then it was going to be 4 versus 3, and we'd be at a disadvantage. But once I seen him get behind the lap car coming to white flag, I'm like, oh, if he's not going to move up, I just gotta pick and roll with this lap car.
All right, anyone you want to thank tonight?
Gotta shout out my guys, Michael Kurgelak, Brian Burchett, for helping me get it done. You guys were putting on a great broadcast, and the guys running this league, it was fun tonight.
All right, congrats on the win, Chris Chavez-Asari.
Thank you.
Jeremy is now standing by with our second place finisher tonight. It's the 10 of Trevor Baxter.
Yes, we are standing by here with our second place finisher who started on the pole of Trevor Baxter. You led 33 laps. You had such an eventful night. Walk us through what you went through there just to come home second, man. That was incredible.
Oh, yeah, started out the race in the front and planned on staying there most of the race, but it didn't work out that way. We had some issues, had some wrecks, some cautions. I had to get some tires, check some damage a couple times. Found our way mid-pack, backpack, coming to the third stage, and said, well, there's only one way to get back up there, and that's to not stay in this line. So we decided to put it on the outside and hope for the best. And a little bit of sliding up here and there, we were able to pull back to the front when people started to pit. I saw the 3 or 4 guys that were running together. I saw them take off and pit early. I didn't know if they were going to take 2 or what, so I decided just to stay in there and stay and run out as long as I could. Come in, got left side tires, and come out right behind them. Was able to get back by him, got back to the lap car. Was in the chat with him. I thought that was going to be the move to stay behind him, but as you see, it wasn't. So hate we didn't win, but we still got good points. Great race. Went from a wreck fest kind of towards the front middle of the race to a really good race at the end. A lot of good green flag laps there, so it was a good race. Good points tonight. Happy with it. Shout out to Painted Magic out of Lexington, North Carolina. MF Choppers out of Churchland, North Carolina. Definitely Ken Byron and Ryko, all those guys over there, man. They dial these cars in every week, and much appreciation to them. Thank y'all for what y'all do. Heck of a race tonight. I hope put on a good show for you.
You did absolutely just that. You did a great job with the interview as well. Trevor Baxter, you are our second place finisher. We'll hopefully talk to you in the near future.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all.
You as well. Thank you.
And we are now going to call into the booth our third place finisher tonight. That's Michael Kurgelak. How you doing, Michael? Michael, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, third place tonight. Worked with your buddies to get up there to the front. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels good, man. It took 3 of us to do it, but it was definitely fun and very, very tense.
Yeah, you were kind of playing the role of the pusher there for most of that race. What was your point of view of it coming down to the end?
Well, I was playing the pusher. Really, we were just hoping one of 3 of us could get the win, and so we really trying to help each other. But yeah, I was really just hoping if I could push one of them. If not, something happened, and I get the win, great. But I was just there to try to, help the team.
All right, tell us a little bit about that pitch strategy because the undercut seemed to work perfectly for y'all. And I think y'all took lefts only, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. We only took lefts, and we only added just enough fuel plus 4 laps. And when we got done with that second stage, we cut we see how many laps were left. We cut it in half, and then we kind of played in the race how it was going and seeing how people were racing. Because if they were going to be racing crazy, then there could be a caution, So we kind of played it how it is, but we had a plan going in.
Is a super speedway race like this more fun when you've got your buddies pushing with you?
Yes, because you could trust them. You kind of know what's going on. When I get around people I don't really know and I don't know the racing, I get a little nervous.
All right, anyone you want to thank tonight?
I just want to thank the winner. He came up with the setup, and I want to thank you guys and everybody for a good clean race. Well, good race. I mean, we had some cautions, but
A pretty clean stage 3. Congrats on the win tonight, Michael Kurgelak.
thank you, sir.
That'll be the end here of our coverage of the Door to Door Racing League at Atlanta. But looking ahead to next week, Jeremy, we got the Chicago Street Course.
Yes, we do. We've got the twists and turns of the Chicago Street Course. And if it's anything like all of these races have been here, they have been excellent races, and I'm sure these drivers are going to have their hands full. I'm excited to see how these drivers navigate the streets of Chicago. Trevor Baxter, one of the most dominant drivers all season long. We'll see how he does as well.
We'll see how he fares on the road course next week. For everybody back at Maconi Entertainment and everybody at the Door to Door Racing League, for Jeremy and Marty up here in the booth with me, I'm Scott Schreck. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to Maconi Entertainment and have a great night.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.